It's our last stand. Save our soul. It's in our hands. Our Rangers are they. Standing tall. We will not run. Cause we're not done. Break the wall. Wants to be one. Our Rangers are they. Go, go. By destiny. Go, go. The unworthy. Go, go. Our Rangers are worthy. Go, go. By destiny. Go, go. The unworthy. Go, go. Our Rangers are worthy. Our Rangers are worthy.
Pirates are hanging out on the Red Galleon until the Zangak shoot them down. There's some fighting, but then the group gets split up. Joe, Lindsay, and Bailey fight, and they turn into Forever Black form with Dino Thunder, Aquatar, Ninja Ranger, and RPM Black, and then later into Forever White. We have Wild Force White, but the other two are Sentai exclusives, which big one from Jacka, we'll say, is Power Rangers Trump Card, who are aliens, and big one is Rule Ranger, like a rule card. And Jetman is Justice Wing, which is from another dimension. Donnie and Marvelous are in the woods together, and they see the person in black that Navi predicted. And with the Mystic Force symbol, it turns out to be Chip, the Yellow Ranger. He knows that the team's looking for the greatest treasure in the universe, and he assumes that they mean magic. So he tells them all you have to do is believe in it. Donnie immediately believes in magic, because he's goofy like that. But Marvelous has a hard time believing in magic because of his father being a scientist. He just does not believe in the concept of explaining things you don't understand with magic. So Chip tests their belief in magic with a giant boulder and jumping over a cliff, and they have to do this unmorphed. Donnie tries gunning the cliff by himself, but then in the middle of the jump, the monster grabs him and forces him down. Marvelous pole vaults over the canyon, screaming, "I believe in magic! I believe in magic!" And then there's a lesson about how hard work isn't just enough. You also have to believe in yourself. Have faith in yourself. The whole group meets up, turns into Mystic Force, and fight the monster as Mystic Force's theme's playing in the background because anniversary. And they unlock the legendary Mystic Dragon Zord, which combines with the legendary Megazord. And during the Megazord battle, we see Nick, the Mystic Force Red Ranger, drive in on his motorcycle, returning to Briarwood, like he said he would at the finale of Mystic Force. And then later, after the fighting, the pirates are on their way. We take a break from the pirates to go check in on the Megaforce team, and it's back to school. Even after the invasion, school still has to go on, because of course it does. And then Jake and Noah are confused that Mr. Burley isn't returning. They got a substitute, who turns out to be Rose from Overdrive. So after class, Noah goes to check in on Mr. Burley's office, and Noah helps him repair some of the things there, and he asks why Mr. Burley hasn't returned to teaching yet, and Mr. Burley just straight up answers he's scared to because of the evasion. He wants to come back, but not now. And then we cut away, and Ernie's is getting repaired, and Emma works there. Some Jake, Gia, will they, won't they? Meanwhile, on the flagship, Vicar is complaining about the pirates. And Damaris is like, you are aware there are other Rangers on Earth resisting us, right? And Vicar's like, of course I did. You silly head. Of course I did. Send someone after them. Send someone after that team that destroyed my brother. And they get an insectoid who's apparently based on Howard the Duck, the movie, because Japan's weird. And he has the powers to copy all the Rangers' powers. And Vicar's like, haha, success. Now summon the X-Borgs. But then the monster's like, no, I'm not working with robots. Give me some loogies. Because Goseiger footage. And then it cuts back to Ernie's. And it turns out that Jake is a repairman and a mascot for Ernie's. And Noah shows the group, except for Troy, a news report showing the pirates. He remarks that they're up in Briarwood and they're heading east, so we could probably find a way to get to them and get the Ranger keys back. Meanwhile, Troy is at the command center and he sees Robo Knight getting repaired by Datus. And Datus says, well, he's alright, but every time we turn him on, he only stays on for like 3 minutes. Troy asks, well, if we get his Ranger key back, can we recharge him with that? And Gosei's like, maybe. But then alert, the monster is attacking the city, so now the team has to go deal with him. But then they get their asses kicked because he copies all their moves and knows all their moves. So then they head back to the command center. And Gosei's all like, well, Robo Knight's still out of commission, but thanks to some recycled Zangiak ships, we were able to create a new Ranger. And Gosei asks Troy to find someone worthy enough for these powers. And Troy's like, I know the person. And it turns out to be Roy, the reformed bully from a past episode of Megaforce. So he asks Roy, hey, you want to be a Power Ranger? And he's like, I'll think about it. And then the monster attacks again, and the Rangers try fighting him again, but get their asses kicked. But then suddenly, Roy shows up, and he morphs into the Green Mega Ranger. And because the monster doesn't know him, he manages to beat him up because he doesn't know any of his moves. And then they blow him up. And then luckily Gosei got the Gosei Great Megazord up and running thanks to Zangiak parts. They recycled from destroyed ships, as well as a new Zord for Roy, the Gosei Ostrich Zorg, which combines with the Megazorg to form the Gosei Great Catapult Megazorg. And then later, the group's hanging out at Ernie's, and Roy shows up, and they talk about, why did Roy join? And Roy's like, well, I had a good thought about it, and then a teacher came and told me to do it. And then the teacher shows up, and he's like, oh yeah, there's the teacher that told me to join. And the audience and the Rangers see that, oh, it's Gosei in his human form, who decided that he's going to interact with the Rangers more often, and he took the identity as Mr. Head. He's going to be one of their teachers now. And the Rangers have a good laugh as Roy is like, what, am I missing something? And the Ranger's like, yeah, we'll fill you in later. This is just a straight up adaptation of the Goseiger episode, What Are Friends For? But then when Pirate Blue does the 5 sword style and does a Forever Blue Final Wave Slash instead of Megaforce's key being along with the others, we swap it out with Lightspeed Blue. So it would be Lost Galaxy, Lightspeed Rescue, Ninja Storm, Mystic Force, and Samurai Blue's keys. Because remember, the pirates don't have the Megaforce keys at this point anymore. We start with the pirates, and they ask Navi for a new prediction. She starts it, and then she hits her head, so it's scrambled. Police! Skies are red, bridges are blue, dog walks on 2. The pirates then head out to get groceries, wondering what that prediction could possibly mean. But then Zangak ships show up. Oh no! But instead of shooting at stuff, they drop off papers. Donnie picks one up and he's like, oh my goodness. This looks nothing like me. Revealing that the Zangak are dropping off wanted posters for the pirates. And because Dylan Sprouse is Donnie, the photo has Cole. Then cuts to the Zangak and Vakar's congratulating himself on what a great idea it was to bring the bounties to Earth. Now the humans will definitely turn on the pirates. And Lavira is like, that was my idea, my liege. And Vakar is like, zip it and prepare some X-Borgs for the thing. The pirates are looking at their wanted posters, and Marvelous is like, my bounty went up, all silent like. But when Lindsay hears him, he's like, went up? Question mark. But before Marvelous can answer about that, a wormhole opens up in front of them, and an SPD car jumps out. It's the first time SPD is experimenting with time travel again, and out of the car comes Doggy Kruger, as well as Sky and Bridge. In timeline, this Sky and Bridge comes after the SPD series, but before the Soul Dragon comic and Once a Ranger. So, Sky is red, Bridge is blue, and Dog walks on 2. Donnie's like, hey, it's the SPD Rangers from the future. And Bridge is like, how exactly do you know who we are? And Donnie's like, oh, it's a long story involving electrocution and me and flying really far back and crashing into a computer. It's a long story. And Doggy's like, yeah, you got a long time to tell it because... And he whips his morpher out and judges them. And they're found guilty of piracy and essentially jailbreaking the morphing grid with the Ranger keys. But before they're arrested, Donnie thinks fast and tosses his groceries at Doggy, which gets him confused, and everyone scatters. Donnie and the girls run in one direction as Bridge chases them. Joe runs in another direction as Sky hops in the car and chases after him. And Marvelous runs into another direction, and after Doggy gets all the groceries off him, runs after Marvelous. And they fight, lead him to a warehouse. But they find a Zangak mission thing where they're planning to launch some drills based off of the drills Rock used in the finale of Megaforce. And these are their only missiles because they're really expensive. Doggy tells Marvelous to stay here as he hops in to fight them. Meanwhile, the other pirates are getting chased until they all meet up in one point. And they're about to be arrested again until X-Borgs jump in. So the pirates morph along with Bridge and Sky morphing, and there's some fighting until the pirates morph into RPM, and Sky's like, this is exactly why you're under arrest. Back in the warehouse, Kruger is getting his ass kicked, so Marvelous jumps in to save him. The rest of the pirates morph into Die Ranger, who is Power Ranger Thunder Squadron, and they're not from around here, they're from another dimension. May or may not make a series about that. Back with Marvelous, he blows up the missiles launch thing so the missiles don't shoot. Everyone meets up in the warehouse. The pirates turn into SPD as the SPD theme plays in the background because tribute episode and anniversary season. They blow up the monster, but he grows big, and now he's gonna, play lawn darts with the missiles. So they call in the Megazord, and there's some nighttime fighting, and it looks really badass. They take the missile from the monster and toss it back at the Zangak, and then Kruger comes out, and because of Marvelous braveness and willing to help others, he gives him the Delta Runner, which then combines with the Megazord to form the SPD Legendary Megazord. Lots of shooting, and the monster's defeated. Yay! Kruger then decides to give the pirates a full pardon before they head back to the future. So normal Earth police won't try to arrest them and stuff like that.